Chelsea, I guess just what did your summer look like? Were you at home? Were you training? What were some of the things that you did kind of on your own over the summer?
During the month of June, I did a lot of conditioning on my own, running up the hills in Arkansas and things like that. And then July, I came back and did the workouts that our trainer had put together for all of us. We had quite a few people back, majority of the team. Um, just getting at it, conditioning, doing sand workouts, getting in, shooting on the gun, things like that.
Got it. Got it. Did you have, with the workouts that your strength coach gave you, were you doing those kind of as a group or was it all on your own?
For the month of like June, I don't know about everyone else because it's not necessarily mandatory, but I did a lot of conditioning on my own. But in the month of July, we all come back together and do all the workouts together as a team.
Got it. Got it. And you talked to me a lot about conditioning, wanting to be able to get back to the rim and kind of score and finish through contact. We talked a lot about that last season. How do you see that paying off now that you've kind of been back on the court, back playing? How's your game look this season?
Yes, I've lost 20 pounds so far. I want to lose about 10 more. So that's definitely a step in the right direction. And I'll definitely be where my goal is at by the time our first game is. But it's been really well, trying to eat right again, extra conditioning, things like that.
What difference have you noticed in your game?
The ability to, like my sophomore year, the ability, that first step to get to the basket, to make quicker moves, exploding out of them. I've noticed a big difference, going that transition from sophomore year, losing that weight, to junior year, kind of gaining it back, to losing it again my senior year. I definitely know the difference in how my game is based off that 25 pounds.
Got it. And then last one for you, who have you seen just over the summer that either has stepped up that you think is going to have a bigger role this season than last season, since you got a couple of years under your belt?
I think we have a huge senior class. I think that when you have a big class like that, you don't, everyone steps up. We hold the senior class to a little bit higher standard because we have been around. We know the expectation. The program has gone from here to here, and we've watched it right in front of our eyes. So I think that's enough motivation. But everyone looks good right now. Everyone's worked on something that they weren't as good at last year. So right now, I don't know. Everyone looks good.
Gotcha. Do you want me to keep going, Mario, with the other?
No, we'll switch it up here. Seth, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'll start with Chelsea. Chelsea, you were one of the first players to come to Arkansas once Mike Neighbors, transfer over. What drew you to the university and specifically Coach Neighbors?
It wasn't necessarily about the university because I'm not an in-state kid. It was more so about Coach Neighbors and the person he was, and the goals that I had for myself and where they would align in his program. And we sat down and talked. I've told this story many times, but we sat down and talked. I've talked about the goals that I wanted to do, where I wanted to be after I leave Arkansas, and I knew this was just a great fit. He just kept it honest and straightforward with me from the beginning, and has all the way through my time here. We've built a great relationship based off that.
With you being here, you kind of talked about it a little bit for so long. What's the legacy that you want to leave in your senior year?
Of course, I want to make an impact on the players that I play with, so that when I leave, they carry on those same ideas. But for me, I wanted to have a shot at the league. I wanted to. That's what my goal is. When I leave Arkansas, I wanted to make an imprint, and I wanted to play every single game, and I wanted to give everything that I had to Arkansas because Coach Neighbors believed in me. I love Arkansas. It's really made me the person that I am now. I came in this program a completely different player on and off the court, And for that, oh, the lights just turned off. But for that, like, I just feel like I owe Coach Neighbors so much for what he's done for me that I just play and I want to be able to leave Arkansas knowing that I gave every single thing that I had.
I'll come back around, Mario. I'll give it to somebody else right now.
Sounds good. Carolyn, do you have anything?
Yeah, one of the players I've been looking forward to seeing back on the court is Jalen. So, Jalen, I'll go with you. How has it been being able to be back on the court and know that you will be ready to play this season?
It's been really fun. Like Chelsea said, we've been back for the summer, just kind of working and getting back in shape. And that's something that I did not think I was going to have to really focus on. I've kind of always been in shape, but being out for a while, definitely gained some pounds here and there. So being able to take over the lock spot again and getting up and down the floor and playing defense for my team again, guarding fast players. You know, the SEC is extremely fast, extremely tough. So getting back in shape's been fun, exhausting, but, you know, we enjoy the challenge here. So I'm really just excited, hopefully adding some parts to my game to help us a little bit more. And, yeah, I'm just really excited. I've missed it a lot, so I'm glad to be back with my teammates.
Well, welcome back. I'll go
Thank
on
you.
to Amber. You know, toll-free moving on, but you get Jalen on the court, you get Destiny on the court with you. How have you seen that chemistry mesh together?
Obviously, we're going to miss Lex being in the other lock spot, but gaining Jalen as an experienced player, I think that'll be really good for us. And then in well as far as the chemistry and how we play, moving real fast. She pushes the ball extremely well, gets to the basket, finds her teammates, and Jalen are in the lock spots waiting for the ball, and then you have Chelsea dragging behind. So it'd be really nice to add to the mix.
And if I could ask, and this is really for all three, I don't know if you follow football, but the SEC defense has been behind. Do you see that would pay an advantage to you guys with how much you all score the basketball? Destiny, you want to start?
Yeah, will you ask that one more time? I'm sorry.
You know, in watching, I don't know if you watch SEC football, but one of the things that has been noticeable is because of COVID and the ability or lack of ability to really practice with contact, the defense has suffered. So my question is, do you feel like that will be an advantage for you guys with how quickly you guys' system scores the basketball?
I think in general, as fast as we score the basketball, if it was going to be defense or not, it's going to be an advantage for us. And so I think for us in practice, there's really no barrier. I mean, we're not really thinking about it. We're just there to play, get better, and be the fastest offense in the country.
Amber, how do you see it?
Carolyn, I'm going to hijack that question real quick because I'll forget. We played a one-quarter game. What was that, guys? About 2 weeks ago, and a team scored 31 points in a quarter and lost by 8. Okay. So defense is definitely going to be behind. You're right. It's behind across because defense takes time. Defense is a lot of science, and science takes time. Offense is art. Art, you can put it together. So, yeah, that team had a great quarter. They scored 31 and got their butts beat by 8 in 10 minutes. So 70 points scored in a live 10-minute game scrimmage. And it was – I'm not sure where our defense is going to be. We're actually starting our first defensive drill today. Coach Todd just left the office, so guys get ready. But I think y'all all know that I've always felt like a good offense can beat a good defense in basketball. So we had a good defense last year, and it'll be good enough. It'll be very scheme-based, but I think you're on to something when you're talking about what you're seeing in football, Carolyn. I think it's going to be even more impactful in basketball.
And I just want to
mention the having players in and out of practice. That is going to really, I think, have a lot to do more so on the defensive side than on the offensive side, especially with people who run a lot of set actions and don't rely on transition.
So I just want to make sure, Mike, that I heard this clearly from you. A good offense beats a good defense.
Yeah, it gives you a chance.
Okay.
It gives you a chance. What my point being there is, we'll use South Carolina as an example. I don't think you can get into a defensive struggle with South Carolina and win a game. You have to be able to score at the highest level to beat the best teams. To beat the best teams on your schedule, to have a puncher's chance, you've got to be able to score, and you've got to have a lot of weapons. And I know I got in here late, and this may have already been covered, but I'm sitting here looking at our preseason shooting statistics, and I'm looking at somebody that shot 49.6% in live action games, and they finished 9th in our numbers. Okay. 59.7 led it, 49.6 puts you at 8th. So you got to be able to make threes and make shots with this group, and they'll tell you it is. I mean, it rises all ships when you see everybody around you making shots. So
great, thanks. I'll move on to somebody else.
Paul, you want to go ahead and go? All right, Christy, you want to go ahead and go?
Hey, Mike. Obviously, we always talk analytics with you. And so my question is, compared to a year ago, is there specific areas that from an analytics perspective, you guys are focused on that you need to improve on to have an even better season this year?
We'll be better defensively around the basket. Our two of our 3 destinies are going to provide us with more size around the basket than we've had. Taylor Thomas is, believe it or not, in better shape than she was last year, and she's going to do her part to do what she's always done. But we've got some size now around the basket that in 2 or 3 different games last year we just didn't have. Now we have that. So I think we'll see some continued improvement in that area. I just also think we're faster. That is something that every one of these kids are back in tremendous condition. There's familiarity. Everybody knew what was coming in. The pace that we have. Michaela's not on this call, but Michaela, watching her and Destiny, they have to play on opposite teams a lot right now, and every now and then we'll slip them together. And when we do, it operates at a really, really high speed, and then everybody just flows in behind it. I think what Jalen talked about coming back from the time off. We are all in that boat, and we've taken it really slow to get where we need to be. But I think you're going to see even a faster, more in control team. We've been able to move at a fast pace offensively because we do have these returners that have been great teachers. I've seen maturity in Chelsea Dungee called a foul on herself in practice last week. We literally had to stop practice. Like, I didn't call it. Coach Todd didn't call it. It was a crucial play for her team on defense against a freshman, by the way. And she said, "Coach, I fouled her." And we literally had to stop practice. We were like, what just happened here? What just happened here? And she just answered it perfectly. She goes, "Coach, I'm a senior. New league. Turn over a new league." Just smiling and understanding the difference. You can be competitive without being an asshole, And that's where that type of growth, just little things like that, having Jalen back, talking in transition defense was something we missed, and that's the other thing I'll point out to you that we'll be better at. We miss Jalen Mason in so many ways, but she is the absolute best transition defensive talker I've ever been around. And we missed that at times last year. So you're not going to be able to score near as easily on us. And I think even though Lex had a tremendous season, she had a tremendous senior season, I think we're 10 to 15 points better offensively than we were last year per game.
So, Mike, and I'm not asking for starters, but
hey, Christy, can I cut you off real quick?
You.
We're only going to have the players for a couple more minutes, so if
Yeah,
we can
get
direct
them.
the questions at them,
Yeah.
we'll have names for a little while longer. So
Yeah, y'all get them.
if you have any
Sorry.
questions for players, we'll do a couple more because I know they have weights at 11:30, so we got to get them out of here. So do you have any questions for them, Christy?
I'm good right now.
Okay. Nate Allen, do you have any questions for the players?
Jalen, just what a difference have you seen in Chelsea since she's lost the weight and says she feels quicker than last year?
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea's been working really hard. We always are really competitive in the weight room and running in the sand and stuff like that and encouraging each other. But I definitely see her being back to where she was when our first year playing together. Her foot speed is a lot quicker. Her defense is quicker. So it just adds that extra layer that she has needed for her game, and it makes us 10 times better when she's able to move at that speed. So we're really excited that she's been working really hard, and we're proud of her.
Thanks, Jen.
Also for Jalen and Chelsea, what have you seen out of Eaton and some of the other newcomers?
Our freshman class is really impressive. They add a layer that we're really excited about building and leaving after next year. Riley and Alana are extremely fast and competitive, and their offensive skills are really impressive. Riley is a really good defender. She reminds me of Bailey Zimmerman, the way she goes for rebounds all the time. So that'll be good to have. And then Destiny McGee, like Coach Neighbor said, she's just a powerhouse in the post. I mean, we call her the wall. You can't really get through her at all, and she's going to, power her way into other posts. So it's really exciting to have really good freshmen coming in.
Andrea, we'll circle back to you. Do you have any other questions for the players?
Yeah, I've got one for Destiny and one for Amber. Destiny, for you, you've obviously had a very strong college career at multiple places. What brought you to Arkansas, and what is it about Arkansas that can elevate your game?
I think initially it's Coach Nabes. I feel like we've had a bond since, he coached at Washington. And for one thing, he's a coach I can trust, and I feel like his program fits my game the best. And then not only like connecting with my teammates, I feel like their games also complement me so well. And their work ethic, and then honestly, just the culture here in a lot of ways fits my personality and my game the best. And I think that's really what drew me here, and so fast right after. But since I've been here, it's been everything that I've been told it was going to be, that I thought it was going to be. And it's been a good transition.
What was the biggest key that was told to you that you're seeing actually happen now that you're on the court?
We're going to go and run fast.
And then this is my last one for Amber. We obviously have seen you scored all last season, multiple different ways. How has your game evolved or better, or how are you going to be better this season?
This season, this off season, I really focused on trying to get faster and getting in better shape. So I think my foot speed has improved and will help me on the defensive end a lot. And then obviously just keeping my shot where it was last year and trying to improve even more. Just later, trying more to evolve coming off the pick and roll. Having shooters around me, like we've talked about with Destiny, Jalen, and Chelsea, even Michaela, and then having Taylor down low with all the other bigs. I think we just fit so well together, and then the chemistry that we brought would be very good.
Got it. Thanks.
Jason Carroll, you got anything?
Yeah, I just want to know whichever one of the players or a couple players want to answer, just what's the competition been like? I know Coach talked about it a little bit. You guys have mentioned it, but as you kind of ramp up to opening things up for real today, what's that been like the last couple weeks, getting ready and seeing the talent that you do actually have on the floor? Whoever wants to go first.
I can go. The competition's been insane. We haven't really played too many like full games. We'll play about half of the game, and the level of intensity that we bring every day is something that I think our fans are going to be really excited for. I mean, we're bringing that at practice against one another. So when we bring it to our competition, I think it's going to be really fun. And, everything that we do during practice is a competition, whether we're shooting or playing quick strike or something like that. We're constantly trying to be better every single day. So that competition is going to be really fun. And I think we're going to show our fans, just how much better that we've gotten.
Seth, you got another one? We'll go ahead and finish with you for the players.
Yeah, for sure. Destiny, you talked a little bit about kind of all the places that you've been, but what makes this Arkansas offense, as you've been in it for a little bit, so hard to defend?
I think it's really hard to defend just because in a lot of ways, you don't know what we're going to do. I mean, we'll talk all the time about entries into what we have, and it could be different, but it allows us as players to read depending on what the defense does. So we're always making the defense wrong. And I think that's really hard to guard because the defense in some ways is always wrong. So you're always going to make the right play if you know exactly what to do. And so I think on offense, also how fast we play. I mean, nobody wants to run up and down the floor as fast as we do. I hate guarding us when we scrimmage each other. But I think those two elements are a really big key to what makes us hard to guard on offense.